In Russia, a surveillance camera captured a sudden explosion at a gas station. An employee and the tanker truck driver, both nearby, miraculously escaped the blaze. When refueling, always ensure all safety rules are followed and avoid any sources of sparks nearby. In this warehouse, amid stacks of boxes and the hustle of employees, one worker throws a package with too much force. It hits another package held by a colleague on a platform. Take the time to handle packages carefully and stay aware of your colleagues around you to prevent accidents. Everything seemed normal in this factory until a worker stepped in and got trapped in a plastic molding machine. Within seconds, panic set in, but one woman had the right reflex. While unloading its cargo, this truck gets too close to a high-voltage line. Contact is immediate and a fire breaks out. Always plan vehicle paths to avoid any contact with electrical installations. Working on an oil platform involves many dangers. In addition to the risks linked to drilling, the site is exposed to being completely surrounded by water. Fortunately, when the walkway gave way, these two workers were wearing their harnesses properly. Working with heat near flammable materials is playing with fire. Without protection, a blaze is never far away. In this kitchen, two men are carrying a pot that is still boiling, just taken off the stove. While they are busy, one of them trips over a poorly stored gas bottle, and in an instant, the situation spirals out of control. Always make sure your kitchen is tidy so you can move around safely. While workers were moving poles along this narrow street, one of them touched overhead power lines. It was a dangerous situation, but fortunately the equipment was secured in time and no one was seriously injured. Even when everything seems calm, danger can strike without warning. These two children narrowly escaped. Using the right tool for each task helps prevent many injuries. Locking pliers, commonly called vice grips, are not designed to serve as a pulling handle. In this case, wearing safety glasses would also have protected his eye. While two men were carrying a metal sheet from the street into a house, a distracted young motorcyclist nearly collided with it. Fortunately, the two men managed to lift it in time. On this unloading dock, a forklift operator drives into the back of a truck, but as he tries to get out, the truck moves, and what happens next could have been avoided. Always coordinate your maneuvers with other operators. In this kitchen, a fire suddenly breaks out, but when faced with the flames, the right actions are not taken, and the situation escalates. Never pour water on an oil fire. Use a lid or a fire extinguisher suitable for kitchen fires. This is why a safety perimeter must always be set up around a work area using caution tape. This barrier protects outsiders from potential danger. In the video, a cyclist narrowly escapes disaster by crossing this hazardous zone without realizing it. In this brick factory, a forklift operator lifts a heavy pallet of red bricks, but as the forks rise, the truck begins to dangerously tip backward. This forklift is carrying a load that is far too heavy and too high. As soon as the weight shifts, it tips forward. Overloading or lifting too high is always enough to compromise stability. Always respect the limits of your equipment. In this workshop, a worker stands near a steel coil. Absorbed in his phone, he doesn't notice that the suspended load starts to move. The outcome is inevitable. Never stand near a suspended load and stay aware of your surroundings. In this warehouse, a worker climbs a rolling ladder to store goods, but with no brakes or stabilizing system, a single movement will make everything topple, literally. On this construction site, a crane is lowering stone slabs into a truck bed, but right next to it, other slabs are waiting without any support, and behind this apparent stability hides an invisible but very real danger. Never leave heavy loads unsupported. Always secure them properly. This is why leaving an open hole in the ground without protection or warning is a major risk. An accident is just waiting to happen. Always install barriers and signage around dangerous areas. Never underestimate the importance of protective clothing and safety goggles when handling flammable chemicals. This worker, having ignored these precautions, exposed himself to serious injury. Here's why you should never let a child play around fragile objects. The glass tabletop doesn't last long. In an instant, curiosity turns into danger. This driver stops to clean his truck's tires, a routine task that shouldn't cause any issues, until the vehicle suddenly starts moving straight toward the water basin. Always make sure to fully immobilize a vehicle and secure the area before performing any task, even something as simple as cleaning the tires. Here's why you should always check the contents of a cylinder before cutting it. Even if it appears empty, residues can remain inside. When this man tried to cut it with an angle grinder, the contact was enough to start a fire, putting him in serious danger. Prevention starts with vigilance. Even when properly secured, a truck's cargo can shift during sudden braking. In this video, we see the pipes break through the cab guard and enter inside. That's why it is essential for motorists to show courtesy and caution when sharing the road with trucks. A man has been convicted for causing a terrible accident in which a semi-truck left the road and crashed into a house in Cheshire, England. This man wasn't feeling well and lay down on a sofa placed on the sidewalk. What should have been a simple moment of rest quickly turned frightening. Fortunately, the vehicle violently hit the sofa, narrowly missing the man. The driver fled the scene. Avoid resting too close to the road. If you feel unwell, find a safe spot away from traffic. In this village, while a technician was making repairs, a high-voltage power line suddenly gives way. Sparks fly, but luckily, no one is hurt. Maintain a safe distance from power lines and wear insulating equipment. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and stay safe out there.